Hi everybody, it's John back again with another final reveal video. Today we're looking at a kit I really enjoyed building. This was such a fun build. This is the Airfix Mary Rose. Unusual in the sailing ship ranges from the small sailing ships is because she is actually 1/400th scale, and as such is probably twice the size of most of the other small scale sailing ships. And she is relatively well detailed for such a small ship. Every single cannon is actually embossed into a part which goes inside the hull, and you'll see that in the build progress clip. And the sails and the yard arms are all one part, so painting them and fixing them to the ship was actually quite simple. The thing that I really enjoyed about this particular kit is it's relatively detailed, and you can highlight the detail in the ship, and you can actually see the deck there. The deck is actually one part, and this part, the deck at the top here, is a separate part, but this part of the deck here is one part, and you can paint this up relatively well, and I chose a method of painting this kit up in a way that I thought would produce a reasonable result. I remember somebody saying to me in a comment that I had received from a subber that he thought that I had a bit of a flair for ships. I don't know, maybe I have, but I do I think this kit has come out really nicely. I used a paint method of weathering to make the sails look quite old and used. I didn't rig the kit because, to be honest with you, I'm not really that. I didn't want to take that on. Rigging a kit of this size I didn't think would be a good idea, but I was really impressed with the way this kit went together. I did see a build review for this model where somebody actually stated that they thought the decals that go on the ship's hull were very fiddly and demanding to apply. And when I put the decals on the hull of this ship, I used a semi-gloss colour brown. I can't remember what colour the brown is, but it's like a medium wood brown, but it's an SM colour from Humbrol. And when the transfers slid onto that paint, they just adhered, and they slid into position, and then they stayed there. And I had absolutely no problems whatsoever with the decals. They went into place. There were no issues. There was no ripples in them, and they just fitted perfectly. And I was very pleasantly surprised because I was expecting them to be an absolute nightmare, and they just weren't. They were really nice. I'm going to try and tilt the hull now so you can see a little bit of the detail of the decals. The decals are quite extensive on this kit, and I'm not joking. They flew on, and they really behaved themselves very well. The thing that I was a bit surprised about with this kit is the actual flags, because I'm used to the flags being paper. And these weren't. These were stickers that you peeled off from a backing paper, and then you sort of stuck them together and shaped them with a little loop at the end to press them into position around the ship's mast to produce the flags. There are only two on this ship, and I'm pretty sure the Mary Rose had an English flag pennant that came out the back of the ship at the back here, but it wasn't present on the Airfix kit, which is a shame. But there's something else I liked about this particular kit. The hull itself went together apart from the deck, to take the deck out of the equation, the hull itself went together in three parts. You had the ship's hull at the side here, both sides, and then at the back you had a separate part which went over the back of the ship to produce the stern. And because it was a separate part, I thought, oh my god, it's going to be filler city. And there wasn't any. There was no filler required on this kit. I was really pleasantly surprised, and the model flew together like a dream. And anyone who's thinking about having a nice, it's a very highly detailed kit for the size of the model. And if you fancy something a bit unusual on your shelf, it's an easy build. And if you're not used to putting decals on, I would suggest you use a semi-gloss coat paint, and then ensure the decals slide on the paper before you put them on, and apply them using the water slide method with a brush. Don't try and touch them with your fingers. Use a brush, and they should adhere to the ship very easily instead of your finger. It's a big tip there. Use a brush to apply decals. They'll stay on the kit rather than stick to your finger. The actual the sign on the side here for the ship, you know, I think it says Mary Rose 1571 to 1511 to 1545. So the ship went to the bottom of the ocean quite quickly, didn't she? She wasn't very old. But you know, I would thoroughly recommend this kit. I really enjoyed building this model. It was really, really good fun, and I think the end result is really impressive. So anyway, that's the Airfix Mary Rose final reveal. I'll be doing a build progress video on this kit as well, so you can see how it went together and how much of a absolute gem it was to put together. It was beautiful, beautiful kit to put together. Really thoroughly enjoyed it. So if you're a bit of a ship collector, have a go at this kit. It's nice, and you can usually get it quite cheap on eBay. I think there's actually one on at the moment. I think it's less than £6 or £7. And it's, in my opinion, it's a really, really good buy. The colours I used on this kit were semi-matte Humbrol brown paint. I used matte white 33 Humbrol coat. I used light linen for the sails, and desert yellow for the weathering on the sails. And I also used the same colour for the desert yellow for the detailing on the deck, and matte black for the actual the rack covers on the deck of the ship itself. And the guns were painted in semi-matte 85 matte black, semi-matte black. Not difficult colours to get a hold of, and you know, really, as I said, I really thoroughly enjoyed this kit. So anyway, that's the build review over for the Mary Rose. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed this kit. I can't get over how fantastic this kit is. I love it. So anyway, if you have any questions, pop them in the comments. I'll try and get back to you as soon as possible, and I'll see you again for the next video, lads. Thanks for tuning in. Bye bye.